Michael Myers is coming back to Halloween Horror Nights in the new maze, Halloween 4. So let's talk about it. Yes, Halloween 4 is coming to Halloween Horror Nights, Orlando and Hollywood for 2018. So let's get into talking about this a little bit. I'm really excited for this. Michael Myers is my favorite slasher, my personal favorite slasher. I really think he has an amazing sort of mystique about him that other slashers don't really carry with them. That's not to say that I don't love other slashers. I love them all. Okay, but Michael Myers has always been my favorite because of his sort of the sort of mystique that he carries with him. He has a mystery about his character, and it's very strong. And that to me is what makes him so scary. You know, he doesn't really have a legit origin story. He just, you know, decided one day, or he snapped one day and decided to start going on a killing spree. And for some reason, he's really strong. He's inhumanly patient. He knows how to do things he shouldn't know after being kept up in an asylum for 15 years. So there's a lot of mystery about his character, and that's what makes him scary, and that's why I love him so much. So let's get into this a little bit. Let's read the Halloween Horror Nights description of Halloween 4, then we'll talk about the film, and we'll talk about our expectations for the maze, and how I think they're going to do everything. So yeah, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, Halloween Horror Nights 2018. So, fall victim to the silver screen's most deplorable slasher with Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Based on the cult classic horror film franchise Halloween, this new maze will have you on the edge of Michael Myers' knife, that is. October 30th, 1988, a seemingly comatose Michael Myers is being transferred back to Smith's Grove Sanitarium. It has been a decade since his last killing spree in Haddonfield, but the townspeople know pure evil never sleeps. Michael awakens and slaughters the medical personnel transporting him, escaping into the night. Fortunately, Michael's former psychiatrist, Dr. Loomis, knows exactly where he is heading. Unfortunately for you, no one is safe from Michael Myers, and no one is safe from Michael Myers, and we don't want anyone to be safe from Michael Myers because we love Michael Myers. So this sort of follows, this follows after Halloween 1 and 2. Halloween 1 and 2 both took place on the same night, going after Laurie Strode. It is revealed in Halloween 2 that Laurie Strode is Michael's sister. And then Halloween 3, obviously, was not about Michael Myers in any way. It was sort of, it was about an evil mask company. And so, but after Halloween 3 sort of bombed, they realized that their main point of popularity was Michael Myers. And so they smartly brought him back for the fourth film, as if the third one didn't even happen. So, so yeah, I think that the fourth film was definitely in the top 3 of my favorite Halloween films, the other two being 1 and 2. I think that those 3 were the best made. I think that overall they encapsulate what Michael Myers is, and I think that after those 3, the series started to take a dive, and not a dive for the best. But the Halloween 4, The Revenge of Michael Myers is interesting in the sense that it sort of bridges the gap between the Curse of Thorn storyline and the Laurie Strode storyline. So the Laurie Strode storyline was the more, oh, he's unexplained, he's an unexplained evil, and the reason he doesn't die is because he's pure evil, which I personally like better. The Halloween 4 starts to bridge the gap and starts to explain things about Michael Myers, and then Halloween 5 and Halloween 6, of course, they really start to make it into like this whole crazy fiasco of a cult controlling him with the evil spirit of a dead teen or something that is extremely homicidal, and you had to complete some sort of evil pagan ritual in order to secure your harvest for that year, and in doing so, this one possessed person had to go and kill off his family members. So it became like this sort of weird, foggy almost thing where just, you know, you kind of muddied the water with an unimportant subplot that sort of drove Michael Myers, and not needed. But Halloween 4 had a nice mix of those two storylines, the Strode storyline and the Curse of Thorns storyline, and in my opinion, it's probably the last really good Halloween film. But that being said, how I feel that the maze will do is, of course, how I thought all the other Michael Myers mazes went. Beautifully done. I think that in the past, Halloween, or the Halloween franchise at HHN, has always been beautifully done. It's always been beautiful in a chronological sense. You really feel the pacing of the story throughout the maze, and it's that in itself is very, you know, very taken care of. The whole property itself, as far as the ambiance and the way they treat the characters and the scenes that they do they at Halloween Horror Nights have taken great care of these characters and these scenes and these iconic moments, and that's what I love so much about the Halloween franchise being turned into mazes at Halloween Horror Nights, because it's just all so beautiful. It's also beautifully done. More so, I think, than a lot of other properties that they do, because it perfectly encapsulates what goes on in the movie. So really excited about this maze. I think that there's a bunch of really cool points that you can have in the maze. I definitely think that the gas station, and I read that somewhere that the gas station will be the facade of this maze, which is an interesting way to do it, but I like that idea, especially since the gas station is where you actually see Michael full-bodied for the first time. He's not in his classic jumpsuit and mask, but he is in hospital gowns and a bandage wrap. And that just makes it scary, because there he is, and his face is covered. It's always covered. But this is like even more blank than Michael Myers, than the classic Myers mask. This is like, he's just a figure standing there. But you know, but he is all the more threatening, and with that completely blank look on his face. So in this first confrontation with Dr. Loomis, it's a beautiful scene for a horror fan. So that scene is also very iconic. And then you have the scene where I also think is a very good opportunity for a scare, is when Dr. Loomis and the new sheriff of the town are running around the neighborhood, and suddenly they get surrounded by like 5 or 6 different Michaels. And I think that, I mean, Halloween Horror Nights is no, they have not shied away from making scares like this, where you have multiple of the same character in the room, and you don't know which one's real, or which one's a mannequin, or which one's going to jump out or move at you, or if it's an animatronic, you know, stuff like that. And I think that those are really cool scares, and I think that itself has a very cool opportunity for that. And I also think that seeing Michael Myers in Jamie's bedroom, when she has that nightmare about him, is also going to be a really cool scene. I can't wait to see that, as well as the convenience store where she picks up her clown mask, and you see all the masks on the thing. That's also a very good place to have, and I have no doubt that we'll see a lot of those places within the maze, because they do such an incredible job of recreating those sort of classic scenes in their mazes. So wow, it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be great. So let's see. Overall, I think that this is going to be just like as well of a job as they've done with previous Halloween mazes. I definitely, and a lot of people are also asking why they didn't do the 2018 Halloween instead of the Halloween 4 maze. And I think, I don't know, it's, the rights to that, I don't know how the rights work. I don't know how acquiring them works. But I think that it would have been easier to do the Halloween 4 maze and still have it almost advertise for the new film and get people hyped for the new film because of Michael Myers. It's the character. But Halloween 4 sort of sits in that sort of chronological order that they've had. Otherwise, it would have been another Halloween 2, because the Halloween 2018 film is essentially a Halloween 2, but redone 40 years later, because they discounted everything after the first film with this new film. So I think it would have worked well either way. I think that the Halloween 2018, if that were made into a maze, it would have worked well as sort of a walking trail, one of those walkthrough trailers that John Murdy sort of talks about. He did it for Insidious: The Last Key last year. It was one of those. So I think that could have worked, but again, there's probably limits to what they can show, and overall, it wouldn't have made it as complete and as the Halloween 4 maze. And I myself am really excited that they decided to take the Halloween 4 maze, because I don't want them to forget about the old films. And if they can keep, and I was listening to TLEV, and Thomas said if they can keep doing these Halloween films and turn them into mazes, I'm all on board for it. I love Michael Myers, and I hope that he keeps returning to the event. Not to the point where he becomes, redundant, but to the point, but space him out evenly. I'd love to see him be at the event all the time. At least keep coming back between years. So if they have plans to keep doing these, then I think that there's a lot of cool material that they have to use. If they're going to keep doing Halloween 5, 6, H2O, Resurrection, even though, as you carry on, the movies start to get a little bit worse, it's still Michael Myers and it's still fun. So yes, I agree with the League of Extraordinary Vloggers when it comes to that, and a lot of things that they say, but that is a very good point. And so the overlying theme, and you'll probably see this in my and you will see this in my Scare Zone video, is that for Hollywood this year, is that they're having an overlying theme of that Halloween, classic Halloween feel. And I'm not talking Halloween Michael Myers, I'm talking Halloween as a holiday. So you see Orlando having their event sort of themed after the 80s video, cult slasher kind of thing, and that's really cool, and I really like the fact that they're doing that, and that was officially stated by Orlando. But over here at Hollywood, there isn't really an official statement on what the overlying theme was going to be, and I think that it's pretty clear that the overlying theme is going to be a classic Halloween feel, and the only thing that's missing is Halloween from last year. But I think that we have a lot of really cool things this year. Hell's Harvest, you have Trick or Treat the Maze, Halloween 4, a lot of these really classic sort of Halloween feeling kind of things. You also have a Scare Zone based off of the Universal Monsters, and I know that Universal Monsters as a maze has yet to have been revealed or announced, but us in the community, we're almost certain that Universal Monsters is going to make a return, especially since you have the construction updates with almost a castle-like structure and the sort of electrical antenna sticking up out of it. I mean, what else could it be? Frankenstein's castle, right? So we're just waiting for that to happen. So you have all these classic sort of things, and the Universal Classic Monsters have become synonymous with Halloween itself. So you have the Universal Classic Monsters, you have a Universal Classic Monster Scare Zone, you have the Trick or Treat Scare Zone, you have the Trick or Treat Maze, which is an anthology horror film about Halloween itself, and it has all of those beautiful Halloween elements to it. You have the Hell's Harvest, which is also another going back to the roots of Halloween. Anything with harvest in it automatically reminds you of the fall season, and the fall season automatically reminds you of Halloween or Thanksgiving, but in this case, of course, it's Halloween. And then you have, you just have a lot of really cool sort of themes here, and I really am liking where this is going. I really like the fact that we have this sort of, this unofficially present Halloween theme, and that I think is going to be extremely cool for this event. And so yeah, that's how I think the Halloween 4 maze is going to go. Those are my thoughts as to how it adds to the event as far as their overall Halloween theme, because this movie has a lot of fall feel to it. It has a lot of fall imagery. It felt a lot more like Halloween than Halloween 1 and 2. So again, that sort of adds to the whole thing, and I'm really glad we're sort of getting that this year. So yeah, again, I'm very excited to see it. I have no doubt Mr. Murdy and Mr. Williams will pull through on this one, as they always do, and make this a beautifully constructed maze. I have no doubt that I will love it, especially with their own creative, artistic intent mixed in with the beautiful chronology of the movie and everything else. So I have been James Young from Night Freak Asylum, and this has been my opinion on Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2018 for Hollywood specifically. And Orlando, of course, is getting it too, but I focus on more Hollywood things, and because I can't really speak for how things are at Orlando. I can only know what they tell me, because I've never been to Orlando, but I am an avid attender of Universal Studios Hollywood, as well as their horror nights. And I go whenever I can. I don't have a pass, but I make it a point to make it there once or twice a year, just to check out how things are going. If I happen to be around there during a Halloween Horror Nights maze construction, I will film construction videos for you guys. But if I'm not, then I'm sorry. For the most part, there will not be any construction construction updates on this channel until I get a pass or something. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, this sort of initial thoughts on Halloween 4 being a maze. Let me know what you all think about Halloween 4 and Halloween as a property returning to Halloween Horror Nights down in the comments. Please comment, share, like, subscribe. We could use all the help. We're a starting channel. We could use all the help we could get to sort of boost followers and allow us to really share our love for horror and the macabre and the haunt events that happen. We're going to be trying to go to more haunts, at least local haunts. We might be going to the Haunted Trail this year for at Balboa Park here in San Diego. We will be going to Proctor Valley Road here pretty soon. And there you will probably meet Abdul, an occasional content creator here on the channel. He doesn't have anything up yet, but he will. And John Cruz, who may or may not be an occasional content creator, but he definitely will be in a lot of my vlogs because he's sort of a travel partner of mine. And you know, somewhere along the line you will see Nathaniel, who is going to be a content creator as well. So excited for you to meet them, excited for you to see our upcoming vlogs. Again, I'm sorry for the Midsummer Scream footage not being I mean, just something happened to it. We're not exactly sure, but it was deemed unusable. So I'm really sorry about that. I had a lot of things that I was really excited to show you about Midsummer Scream this year. I had a really fun time, as well as the panels and the announcements. So that's about it. I'm really excited for you to see all of the rest of our stuff, as I've stated for the past 3 or 4 times. And this is James Young from Night Freak Asylum, signing off. Thank you.